Hello archers, it's Nocdraw here. Today I'm gonna talk about all the things wrong with archery in Crimson Desert. Crimson Desert is finally out. It's very divisive. Some people love it, some hate it, some were hyped, some were skeptic. It's jack of all trades, master of none. It's all your favorite games into one. By this time you've probably already seen everything that could ever be said about any game being thrown at Crimson Desert. Me, I got hyped when I first saw the bow on Cliff's back, and I was rock solid on buying it when YouTubers started saying you can definitely play as a full-blown archer. Well, it didn't take me too long to realize how that is not really true. But before I dive into the details, let me just say I had high hopes that this game would be it. I was getting ready to spend tons of hours into it. I still really want to see all it can provide. Yes, there are some weird things in the game which everyone is talking about. Personally, I don't even mind half of them. There are definitely some really nice aspects to the game as well, but when it comes down to archery, I have to admit I am very disappointed by these first few hours into the game. Let me explain why. Right from the start you get a bow. It's in a special ranged weapon slot because there are other ranged weapons in the game like guns and rifles. To equip the bow you need to press a dedicated button. By default it's Q on PC. You can immediately see that upon equipping the bow our character Cliff is automatically drawing the bow. This is the first red flag for me. What makes bows different from any other type of weapon is exactly the need to be able to pull the string and to hold it. The familiar and proven way to simulate this in video games is to require players to hold down a button to simulate the draw. The more you hold, the more you draw until you reach full draw. I know that this is so simple and minimal and I'm kind of explaining the obvious here, but at the same time, why are game developers failing to follow this simple logic and formula? And let me iterate again, Cliff is automatically fully drawing the bow when we equip it. Pearlabyss decided to save us from the quote-unquote tedious task of drawing the bow manually, which is half of the fun in archery, in a game where they also make us use at least 2 buttons for other simple and repetitive tasks like talking to people, picking up items and precision jumping. On the good side, the animation of the draw looks good. We have what seems like a Slavic draw style with the arrow on the right side. I have to give credit to Pearlabyss, they nailed one very small but very important detail. So far, the few different bows that I have found in the game are all traditional. They don't have any arrow rest or arrow shelf to hold the arrow, so they made Cliff hold the arrow on the bow with his thumb. This is absolutely spot on and how it's done in real life, so props for that. They also made an effort into simulating tilting the bow, not only to one side but to the other. Most often, if you are a right-handed archer, you tend to tilt the bow to the right, especially in Asiatic styles. And when doing archery on a horse and to shoot on the left side of the horse while right-handed, most people have been leaning and tilting to the left in this sort of reverse stance. But as you see, similarly to Warframe that I showcased a couple of weeks ago, developers either don't pay attention or don't put effort into making a bow animation that doesn't make the string glitch into the character's head and body. This is a minor detail of course, and I wish it is all that's wrong. Going back to the more important issues, in order to shoot the bow we need to click the left mouse button. Standard, right? Yes, but in combination with the auto draw and the fact that we are not holding down any button at this point, a simple click to shoot makes the bow feel more like a crossbow, a gun, a rifle, you name it. Let's revise the basic mechanics of shooting an arrow. You first knock an arrow on the bow, then you draw the bow by pulling the string, and then you release the string to make the arrow fly. Do you see where I'm going with this? There are 2 keywords here. You hold the string and the arrow and then you release. You hold the mouse button and then you release it to shoot, but not in Crimson Desert. Pearlabyss are not simulating or at least trying to mimic shooting a bow in a very immersive and realistic way. The game is being compared to many other games, however the devs could not pick up the bow mechanics from any of them. And then comes the worst part of the archery in the game that only takes shooting a couple of arrows to notice. There is constant automatic aim assist. Yes, even on mouse and keyboard. So we have our target here, see where my crosshair is? Do you see the little dot on the target? This is where the arrow will actually go, despite me aiming at like what, 3-4 centimeters away from the target. I can understand having such aim assist on controller for casual players or kids that just want to crash on the couch and mash buttons and go through the game, but having it on at all times and even saying things like a full archer playstyle is absolutely ridiculous. You only need to look somewhat in the general direction of your target and you will hit it, most of the times in the stomach. No headshots, no arrow to the knee, but hey, Crimson Desert is the new Skyrim. But wait, Nogdro, did you even play the game? There is an option for precision aim. This, my fellow archers, is adding insult to the injury. Yes, pearlabyss were kind enough to give us an option to disable the awful automatic aim assist that completely destroys the whole point of being an accurate and precise archer. Yes, we can disable the aim assist and manually aim and shoot, but there is a twist. You need to do this every freaking time on every single shot. Are you kidding me? Watch this, the default button for precise aiming is tap on PC. So we only need to press Q to equip the bow and then to press tab and we can aim and shoot on our own as a big boy. Wait, it's just 2 buttons, it's not a big deal, especially since once again most simple actions in the game also take 2 buttons to perform. After we shoot an arrow, guess what? We automatically go back to auto freaking aim assist. So we need to manually switch back to normal big boy let me aim on my own, I want to be an archer in a video game mode on every single shot. On top of that, when you press Q, you need to wait for this button prompt on the bottom right to pop up before you can actually press tab to switch to precision aim mode. If you press Q and tab quickly, the tab is not registered. That got me thinking maybe we can make a macro. We can measure the delay that's needed between Q and tab so that the macro switches to precision aim for us. We could, but then for the next shot we once again need to press tab because the damn game switches back to aim assist. So even if we go the extra mile to create a macro, it can only get us halfway there. Alright, we need to switch to manual aim on every shot to have a somewhat okay-ish archery experience, otherwise it's like we are playing a top-down isometric game like Diablo or Path of Exile. Really good games by the way, but the whole point of being an archer and to make you feel a little bit like an archer is to make it rewarding and challenging to hit your shots and to get punished for missing. To make you, the gamer, put in some effort to shoot the bow, not the game to do the shooting for you. So getting to the control scheme of the game, tons of people are complaining, yes, it's different, it's quirky, it requires getting used to, but there is no dedicated option for the precision aim toggle. It's hard-coded to tap and you cannot change it. And to show you that I'm trying, I am really trying to find a way around the developers' decisions. I started thinking how to change the key bindings to make archery better. If we were allowed to change the key for the precision aim, it could be mapped to the right mouse button, but then you would need to remap numerous other bindings because the right mouse button is used for almost all of the skills and moves. So it's actually good that we cannot change the precision button because otherwise we would need to spend around 40 minutes to remap all the other actions. One somewhat viable workaround that I came up with is to actually remap the buttons on my mouse. If you have a programmable mouse, in my case I have a Logitech one, you can bind any mouse button to any keyboard button or another action. So currently I'm trying to play the game as follows. The real physical right mouse button is actually bound to tab so that right click switches to manual precision mode. I thought of games where you draw the bow with the right mouse button on every shot to make it kind of feel familiar. Then the in-game right mouse button is mapped to one of the physical side buttons on the mouse so that I don't miss any of the other actions that I will be required to do, and without the need to remap the whole input scheme in the game because, as many other people are complaining, it sucks. And last, I put Q on the thumb mouse button so that I can pull out the bow, switch to precision aim and finally shoot, all from the mouse. Again, 3 buttons to execute a normal single shot that is going to be a very repetitive task if you want to play as an archer. Meanwhile, again, Cliff is drawing the bow for us to save us the effort. Having to do this on every shot and having to wait for a second in between is as annoying as it gets. And as you have guessed, currently there is no global toggle option in the game menus to disable the auto aim assist or to permanently enable the precision aiming. Next, we have the alleged archery skills and archery builds. We have a total of 5 skills related to archery from a total of 47 skills. So all the talk of complicated, in-depth, full-blown and even the concept of an archery build honestly seems ridiculous with this variety. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy that we at least have some skills dedicated to archery, but also they don't seem that fascinating because from the demonstration videos that are shown in-game, they seem like combo moves in a fighting game that require little to no aiming or preparation. They just require you to hit the right combination to trigger them. And last but not least, in these first few hours with the game, killing enemies with arrows feels a bit weak and strange. When you hit them, the enemies are tweaking like they're being tickled and it takes a lot of arrows to put them down. This might be improved with the passive skill that increases bow damage and with upgrading the bow, but I'm also a bit concerned about that and I'll be keeping an eye on it progressing further into the game. That is, if I even progress further. Another thing related to archery that is not well received is the archery challenges. People are complaining about the AI being too accurate and the challenges being too difficult. I haven't progressed enough through the game to check it out for myself because I'm still struggling with the disappointment of the basic archery mechanics. To not be only on the negative side, I want to say a couple of good things about the game so far. It runs and looks amazing as it was advertised. The NPCs are actually acting lively. If you have your bow drawn, they are scared you will shoot them and they have their guards up. Light the lantern in their faces and they will cover their eyes. Exploration is amazing in the game, actually that is probably the best thing so far, but honestly, combat is a big part of the game and with what I've shown so far about the bow combat, I'm not sure I will be willing to suffer through the combat so that I can go back to the interesting exploration. So to wrap it up, these are my first impressions of the archery implementation in Crimson Desert. I hope I'm not the only one annoyed by the auto aim assist on top of the other subpar details of how archery is simulated in the game. I'm hoping either the developers change it, they can easily introduce a toggle in the game menus to turn it off permanently so that we don't need to manually switch to precision aim for every shot. If they fail or just ignore the issue, I'm hoping that at least someone in the modding community does it. A mod that removes aim assist and let us draw the bow by holding a button and firing by releasing it is all an archer needs. So there is more than the aim assist that needs fixing to make a good archery experience in Crimson Desert. I bought my copy of the game with hard-earned cash. I'm not going to refund the game, frankly because I can't since I bought it from a key shop, but I'm really hoping archery will be revised and fixed soon, and that will make me go past the other weird things in the game that other people are complaining about. Let me know what you think in the comments. Archers and archery lovers, please try to get the attention of the developers and the modders so this can be fixed. Thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please support the channel and as always, stay on target and I'll catch you in the next one.